Decimals and percents. The objectives in this lesson are 1. To find the percent of a grid that is shaded. 2. To convert between percentages and decimals. 3. To convert a percentage to a fraction. And 4. To convert a fraction to a percentage. By definition, percent means per 100. In this grid of rectangles, notice 56 out of the 100 rectangles are shaded. "56 squares are shaded. The grid contains 100 squares. To find the percent that is shaded, we simply counted the squares that were shaded. Percent is based on 100, so the number of shaded squares is also their percentage. 56 out of 100 are shaded, so that would be 56% of the grid is shaded. Let's find the percent of this grid that is shaded. So first we'll count the number of rectangles that are shaded. We have 20 here shaded. There's 18. And then here we have another 9 that are shaded. So 20 plus 18 plus 9 is 47. So 47 out of the 100 rectangles are shaded. So 47% of the grid is shaded. To convert a percent to a decimal, 1. Drop the percent sign. 2. Move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Percent means per 100, so moving the decimal point 2 places is the same as dividing by 100. To convert a decimal to a percent, 1. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right, and 2. Write the percent sign. Convert the percentages to decimals. 14%. First, we drop the percent sign. We don't see our decimal, but we know it's behind the 4. So now we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left, and that gives us 0.14. In the next example, 2.6%, drop the percentage sign. Now move the decimal 2 places to the left. Notice we have a spot where we need to place a 0. So that equals 0.026. Convert the percentages to decimals. 28%. Drop the percentage sign. Our decimal is behind the 8. We're going to move the decimal point 2 to the left. So 28% is equal to 0.28. 0.7%, drop the percent sign, move the decimal point 2 to the left. Notice we have a spot where we need to place a 0. So 0.7% is equal to 0.007. Convert the percentages to decimals. 1.35%. Drop the percent sign. Move the decimal 2 to the left. We have a spot where we need to place a 0. So it becomes 0.0135. 146%. Drop the percent sign. We don't see a decimal, so we know it's behind the 6. We're moving the decimal 2 to the left. So 146% is equal to 1.46. Now we'll convert the decimals to percentages. 7.7 Now we're going to have to move the decimal 2 to the right. We'll need a 0 for this space. So 7.7 is equal to 770%. In the next example, 0.8693. We're going to move the decimal 2 to the right. That places the decimal between the 6 and the 9. So we have 86.93, and we add our percent sign. Convert the decimals to percentages. The decimal is behind the 8, so it's right here. And we need to move it 2 to the right. 1, 2. So we have 2 spots where we need to place zeros. So 8 is equal to 800%. In the next example, 0.456. To change this decimal to a percent, we're moving the decimal point 2 to the right, 1, 2. That will place it between the 5 and the 6. So 0.456 is equal to 45.6%. Convert the decimals to percentages. 1.005. To go from a decimal to a percent, we move the decimal 2 to the right, 1, 2. That places it between the 0 and the 5. So we end up with 100.5%. And in the next example, 2.28. We move our decimal 2 to the right. But since it's at the end of the 8, we don't need to write the decimal point. 2.28 is equal to 228%. To convert a percentage to a fraction, 1, drop the percent sign, 2, write the percent over 100, and 3, write the fraction in lowest terms. Convert the percentages to fractions. 45%. Drop the percent sign and write 45 over 100. Then, write the fraction in lowest terms by dividing 45 and 100 by 5. 45% equals 9/20. In the second example, 86%. Drop the percent sign and write 86 over 100. Write the fraction in lowest terms by dividing 86 and 100 by 2. 86% is equal to 43/50. Convert the percentages to fractions. 8%. Drop the percentage sign and write 8 over 100. And now to simplify this, we'll divide the numerator and the denominator by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 100 divided by 4 is 25. 8% is equal to 2/25. In the second example, 46%. 46% is equal to 46 over 100. To write this in simplest form, I will divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. 46 divided by 2 is equal to 23. 100 divided by 2 is equal to 50. So 46% is equal to 23 over 50. Convert the percentages to fractions. 105% would equal 105 over 100. Divide the numerator and denominator by 5 to write it in simplest form. So that is equal to 21 over 20. Or if you wrote it as a mixed number, it would be 1 and 1/20. 22% equals 22 over 100. If I divide the numerator and denominator by 2, 22 divided by 2 is 11. 100 divided by 2 is 50. To convert a fraction to a percentage, write an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. Write that fraction as a percent. Convert the fractions to percentages. 3/20ths. We'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 5 in order to have a denominator of 100. So 3/20ths is equal to 15 100ths, which is equal to 15%. 4/5. If we multiply the numerator and denominator by 20, will equal 80 over 100, and 80 100ths equals 80%. Convert the fractions to percentages. 36 25ths. We want our denominator to be a 100. So if we multiply the numerator and denominator by 4, 36 times 4 is 144. 144 hundredths would be 144%. In our second example, 7/10, in order to have a denominator of 100, we can multiply the denominator by 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 7 times 10 is 70. So 7/10 is equal to 70%. 9/20ths. If we multiply 20 by 5, that equals 100, and 9 times 5 is 45. So 9/20ths equals 45%. Review of lesson objectives. After completing this lesson, you should be able to 1. Find the percent of a grid that is shaded. 2. Convert between percentages and decimals. 3. Convert a percentage to a fraction. And 4. Convert a fraction to a percentage.